What's up, guys? It's Andrew Santowski. I'm doing UFC 256 predictions. Figueiredo versus Moreno. Davison Figueiredo coming off a successful title defense in his last fight 3 weeks ago, man. Quick 3-week turnaround. Going against Brandon Moreno, who had a nice win over Brandon Royval. Freak injury by Royval. Looked like he popped his rib. I thought Royval looked really good in that fight up until that point. I thought Brandon Moreno was kind of coming in recklessly on some of his shots, and I think that might give him some problems in the main event, but that's for a little bit later. So first fight of the night, we have Chase Hooper against Peter Barrett. Chase Hooper coming off a disappointing loss in his last fight against Alex Caceres, man. Alex Caceres looked really good, probably his best octagon performance. But I think they're giving Hooper a winnable fight here in Peter Barrett, man. Peter Barrett, kind of a boxer. Got taken down numerous times against Youssef Zalal back in August. So if he can't keep this fight upright, he's in big trouble against Hooper, man. I don't like the inflated line on Hooper, but I see what the UFC is clearly trying to do here. He's a 4-1 favorite over Peter Barrett, and I'm going to go with Chase Hooper to get the job done. I'm going to go with a first-round submission, but I could see a decision win here, but I think the longer the fight goes, it's definitely more advantageous to Peter Barrett here. Second fight of the night, Sergey Spivak against Jared Vanderaa in the heavyweight division. Sergey Spivak coming off a nice win over Carlos Felipe, man. Carlos Felipe has shown that he is a durable heavyweight. But, you know, I still think that Spivak kind of has a suspect chin here. And I don't know if Vanderaa's going to be the one that tests it, but I'm going to go with Vanderaa here in the upset, man. He's coming off the Dana White Contender Series. Trains out of Dan Henderson's gym. So I'm gonna go with Vanderaa here. He is an underdog, but I just can't have any type of trust or faith in Spivak as a -230 favorite as a heavyweight, man. I just don't think that's really a good idea to be laying those type of odds and that type of juice, especially on heavyweight fighters that I don't rank real high. But I'm a big underdog better as it is, so I mean, like, I don't like favorite spots anyhow. Next up, we have Billy Quarantillo against Gavin Tucker in the men's featherweight division. Man, this is a great fight. Gavin Tucker coming off a nice win over Justin James. Not sure how much that says. I feel like Billy Q's got the more impressive wins, man. Coming off a nice win over Kyle Nelson back in September. Win over Spike Carlo before that. Jacob Kilburn before that. He's going up against Gavin Tucker. This is an even money fight. And I like Billy Q here. I'm going to go with Billy Q by decision. Next up, Mackenzie Dern against Verna Jandiroba. Again, I'm calling for the upset here. I like the underdog. I like Jandiroba as the +150 dog. Man, she took out I'm trying to think of her name. She took out Felice Herrig real quick back in August, man. Man, that was such a dominant win for Jandiroba in that fight, man. Beat Mallory Martin, who's a great grappler herself. Lost to Carlos Esparza in her UFC debut. That was a close fight back in April of 2019. That was that Hermanson versus Jacare card. And then against Mackenzie Dern, I kind of feel like they've given her matchups that have suited her. You know, she really hasn't tasted the fire yet, man. You know, beat Randa Marcos, who jumps into submissions. Beat Hannah Cyphers, who can't defend a submission. You know, only loss came against the surging Amanda Ribas. No shame in that. And looks like, you know, Mackenzie Dern does have her weight issues under control, man. But I think Jandiroba's just a stronger woman here. Probably a little more well-rounded. So I'm going to go with Jandiroba by decision here. Next up, another very interesting men's featherweight fight. Cub Swanson against Daniel Pineda. Cub Swanson, man, he's been out over a year, which I think in reality might have done benefits for him, man. Yeah, he is in the twilight of his career, 37 years old. I do like the fact that he trains with Juan Archuleta and TJ Dillashaw and Brian Ortega out there in California, man. Nice win over Kron Gracie in his last fight in October of 2019, going up against Daniel Pineda, who's coming off a huge win over the prospect of Herbert Burns, Gilbert Burns' brother, back in August, man. So I get the hype on Pineda. I just can't get out of my mind his first UFC tenure, man. And you know, I feel like he's a guy that, you know, this might be a letdown spot for him coming off an upset win over Herbert Burns. And I'm gonna go with Cub Swanson here, man. I mean, you don't really hear about Cub Swanson getting submitted outside of that of Brian Ortega. Cub Swanson's a slight underdog. I'll take Cub Swanson here for the pick by decision. Moving into the main card, Junior Dos Santos against Cyril Gane. This might be Junior Dos Santos' Octagon Swan song. You know, the UFC just let Yoel Romero go. They want to let these high-priced talent go. JDS is on a 3-fight skid. Has not looked good. And the competition doesn't get any easier for him. Going against Cyril Gane, the surging French heavyweight, who I don't believe has fought in a while. He hasn't fought since he beat Tanner Bozier a year ago. So I'm gonna go with Dos Santos, man. No confidence in this pick. I just see these big favorite odds on Gane. 4-1 favorite over Dos Santos. I mean, come on, man. You know, that's ridiculous. So I'm gonna go with Dos Santos by decision. Absolutely no confidence in this pick, but just can't believe that Gane is a 4-1 favorite over Dos Santos. But he might make it look like that. Kevin Holland against Jacare. Don't understand the odds here, man. You know, Kevin Holland is already telling Jacare, don't lay and pray on me. I mean, there should be... yeah, the odds have dropped dramatically. Kevin Holland's a -130 favorite, man. He did open as a -175, which is crazy, man. I think Jacare is just going to take him down and just utterly control the guy, man. You know, Jacare dropping back down to middleweight here. He hasn't fought in over a year when he fought Blachowicz, but man, I think he's just going to take Kevin Holland down and just control him. So my pick is Jacare by decision. Moicano against Fiziev, another banger, man. Moicano's going to want to get this to the ground. Fiziev's going to want to keep it standing, man. Still think this is probably the wrong weight class for Moicano, but I'm going to go with Fiziev here, man. That guy is an absolute beast. Impressive win over Mark Diakase in his last fight. Just pieced up Diakase. I don't know how Diakase absorbed those shots. His only setback has been against the spinning back kick of Magomed Mustafayev in his UFC debut, man, which just kind of got caught, you know. And Fiziev, that looks like an absolute specimen at lightweight. Smaller guy, but man, he's definitely a 55er, built like a tank. And Moicano, man, he's got some length and reach on his side, but man, he's going to have to get this to the ground. Because if not, it might be a short night for him. I don't see him absorbing the damage from Fiziev, and I'm going to go with Fiziev by first round knockout. This fight should be fireworks. Tony Ferguson against Charles Oliveira in the main event. Oh my God. This is a put up or shut up fight for Tony Ferguson, man. I mean, Charles Oliveira can really take his shine, man. Oliveira, I think he's on, what, a 7-fight win streak here? Yeah, 7-fight win streak without a title shot, man. And the UFC is giving them every obstacle in the way to getting a title shot, man, because they don't want to give it to him, obviously. You know, what can you say, man? It hasn't lost since the Paul Felder loss 3 years ago. That was a different guy back then. This guy looked absolutely amazing at lightweight. Hasn't fought since March. I'd like to see the guy a little more active. Glad he got the fight that he wanted, or a top contender fight in Tony Ferguson, who's just lost his interim title to Justin Gaethje last May. So, I mean, Tony Ferguson has a lot to prove in this fight, man. Is he still relevant, man? Is he still relevant? I mean, I'm going to go with Tony Ferguson here by decision, man, but nothing would surprise me in this fight. Davison Figueiredo against Brandon Moreno. Brandon Moreno he didn't look right in his last fight, even though he picked up the win. Got a nice takedown against Brandon Royval. Brandon Royval got an injury. But, man, I didn't like Moreno's stand-up in that fight, man. He just looked like he was kind of charging forward a little bit too much, man. His defenses were kind of porous to me. Figueiredo, I do worry about the weight cut for him 3 weeks after his last fight. That is a quick turnaround. The UFC is trying to push Figueiredo here, man. They are just trying to, you know, I just think trying to keep that division a little active, just trying to put anybody, you know, trying to get their champions to fight, you know, and, I mean, the heavyweight title gets defended once a year, if that, and I mean, just, Adesanya's moving up to 205 to fight Blachowicz in the spring. So there's going to be some, you know, idleness with some of these divisions, man, which sucks. I hate the divisions getting held up. But, man, props on Figueiredo, man. 3-week turnaround. He's got my respect, man. And as long as he can make this weight cut okay, which is always a concern, I'm going to go with Figueiredo here by first round knockout, but I could see a submission win as well. Moreno can extend the fight into the later rounds. Maybe he has a chance, but I don't see Moreno getting a quick finish. Figueiredo's a 3-1 favorite. I wouldn't touch this fight with a 10-foot pole. I'm going to go with Figueiredo by first round knockout. These are my picks for UFC 256, guys. The event takes place December 12th, 2020, this Saturday. Thanks for joining me, guys. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.